Today, I'm going to do a deep dive on how to build a budget-friendly pantry for less than $10 a week. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Ashley, and today we are going to do a deep dive on how to build your pantry for less than $10 a week. I've got all my calculations right here, even in the order in which I think you should purchase them, and I'm even going to be sharing a few recipes you can make from these ingredients alone. Let's go ahead and get started. Week one. This is what we have. In my opinion, salt, pepper, and some sort of fat to cook in are the three most important things in your pantry. If you have those three things, you can cook your food and you can season your food. The fourth item we have this week is cinnamon. And we have cinnamon in here because it fit in the budget this week. And you'll see what we'll do with it when we get to week two. I also think it's important to note that what I'm showing you is what I have in my house. I didn't go out and buy all new things for this. And a lot of the things that I have in my house, I got on sale or I got on clearance. And so it's name brand. But what I did was I priced out all of these items on the Walmart app. And it is May of 2025 right now. So those are what these prices that I'm getting are the Great Value brand on the Walmart app, May of 2025. So the grand total for week one is $9.98. Week two is the 1 week that I'm going to put an asterisk next to under $10. But hear me out. Let me show you what we've got for week two. We've got flour, we've got oats, and we have yeast. And this is where the asterisk comes in. If you were to buy this container of yeast, you are going to spend $5.48 at Walmart right now. That would bring our grand total to $11.98. So that's almost $2 over budget. This is a much better deal, much better than the packets of yeast that you can get. If you really don't have the $2 extra to get this yeast, you can absolutely get the packets. The 3-count packets of yeast come in at $1.88. And so your total for the week for all three of these items, if you took this out and put the packets in, would be $8.38. So if you have the $2 extra, you will be able to make twice as much bread and products if you buy this. But if you don't, absolutely get the packets. And now what we have in our pantry is we have oatmeal. We also have the cinnamon from last week. So now we can make oats with some cinnamon for breakfast. We also have flour, yeast, and we have the salt from last week. And if we add water to those three ingredients, we can make the most delicious no-knead bread. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to make that bread now. You are going to take 3 cups of all-purpose flour. 1, 2, 3. And I'm telling you, this is the easiest bread recipe I have ever tried. It's from Christine at Frugal Fit Mom. You're going to take about half of a teaspoon of yeast and then use about a teaspoon of salt. I got this recipe from Christine over at Frugal Fit Mom a couple years ago, and I've made it. And when I made it, it became an instant favorite in the house. It was so easy to make. I really like this bread. So now you are just adding about a cup and a half of warm water. It needs to be warm to the touch. And you're just going to stir all that until it's combined. Okay, this is a little dry. It needs a little bit more liquid. So I'm going to add just a couple tablespoons maybe. There it goes. Hold on. See how it's forming now into a ball? There we go. That's what we want to see. So now everything is incorporated, and we are going to cover this with plastic wrap and put it in a dark corner for about 4 to 24 hours. So this is what you want the dough to look like, how it's got all those nice bubbles in there. And just take it with a fork, kind of pop those air bubbles out. You're going to flour your cutting board and dump the loaf out on the cutting board, and just you can kind of form it back into like a little ball. I put this on over it, and this is going to be the next rise. We're going to leave this for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, we are going to heat up our oven to 450 degrees. We are going to put the pan in the oven while we are heating it up. So the pan is going to be nice and hot when we put our bread in. Okay, and now you've gotten your hot pot out of the oven. You're going to just sprinkle a little bit of flour in the bottom. You can use cornmeal or really whatever you want, just a little bit. And then here is the bread dough. I'm just going to pick it up. It's very wet. And ooh, hear that sizzle? And now you are going to put the lid on and bake this in the oven for 30 minutes covered. And after 30 minutes, we will take the cover off and bake it for another 15 minutes. Remember, this pan is still hot. Use your pot holder. It has been 30 minutes, and now we are just going to remove the lid and let it cook for another 15 minutes. It has been 30 minutes. The house smells so good. What we're gonna do is I'm just gonna dump this out onto a cutting board. And we're gonna let this, I'm gonna burn myself. We're gonna just let that sit for about 30 minutes and then we'll cut it up. Now you are just going to take a serrated knife. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to get into this. Now we're getting into the fun part, the spices. This is what's going to make your food taste really good. Now, of course, salt and pepper, so much can be done with salt and pepper, but when you have a few extra seasonings, it can just elevate your food so much. My top spices that I'm always pulling for are paprika, Italian seasoning, red pepper flake, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, and cumin. And the grand total for week 3 is $8.88. Week 4 is baking soda, white sugar, chicken bouillon, and also not pictured would be brown sugar and baking powder. I am actually out of those things right now. So it would be those 5 items: baking soda, baking powder, white sugar, brown sugar, and chicken bouillon. This grand total with the 2 missing items is $9.67. Week 5, very simple. We've got rice, beans, and pasta. That's it. Just rice, beans, and pasta. What I priced out was a 5-pound bag of rice and a 4-pound bag of dried beans. I'm going to show you what I'm going to make with these 2 things and a couple of the other ingredients later on. So good. It's a family favorite. For 1 pound of pasta, 4 pounds of beans, and 5 pounds of white rice, the total for this week is $8.08. And week 6, our final week, what we have is we have peanut butter. Peanut butter is a great pantry staple. It's very inexpensive. And since you have that homemade bread, you can put some peanut butter, have some peanut butter toast. So good. I also would include a can of corn. This is great for Tex-Mex items, a can of green beans, or really any kind of vegetable your family likes in the can. Ours would probably do green beans over other ones. But if your family prefers something else, absolutely get the green beans or get something else. A can of diced tomatoes, a can of fire roasted tomatoes with green chilies, and a little can of tomato paste. I would also include a can of mixed vegetables if that's what your family likes, so you can make things like pot pies or even like a shepherd's pie. My family would prefer just to have corn as opposed to all the mixed vegetables, so I don't keep the mixed vegetables in my pantry, but if that's, I know that is something that a lot of people do like, so there is in this budget room for one more can. I would just add another can of corn. So the price for this week with an additional can of mixed vegetables or any vegetable of your choice is $7.28. Next up, we are going to make my kids' favorite black beans and rice using only the pantry staples that I have shown you in this video. Once the beans have soaked overnight, you want to drain them and rinse them, and then put them back in your pot with about 6 to 8 cups of water. You can add more if you think it's getting too dry. Add a couple tablespoons of broth base, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of Italian seasoning, some cumin. This stuff is so good. I love cumin. Salt and pepper. And you're going to cook that. You know, maybe a little bit more salt. And just give that a stir. And let's turn that. We're going to bring it up to a boil. And then we're going to simmer it for probably like 4 to 6 hours until the beans are nice and soft. Once you can mash the beans with the back of your spoon, you know that they're ready to go. And then just cook the rice to package instructions. This was so tasty. I hope this gave you guys some ideas on how to build up your pantry on a budget. And as always, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see some more videos from me soon. See y'all in the next one. Bye.